What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. We're here in the home orchard today, and we're going to be doing a really quick episode on foliar feeding. A lot of you have asked for foliar feeding, and does it work? Should I do it? And how do I do it? And so we're going to talk about foliar feeding and some of the benefits that it has. But I really quick wanted to point out kind of what we're going to be using it for. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to foliar feed to give a plant a quick nutrient boost, to help a diseased plant that's fighting a lot of stress. And then we're going to take you over to our strawberry bed, where we're going to talk about foliar feeding to increase fruit yield, plant vigor, and overall growth. And so we're going to be doing that as well. But you can use foliar feeding for just about any purpose. Now, foliar feeding is great because it gives the plants a boost very quickly. When you're looking at, for instance, this peach tree, which has really suffered this spring. This peach tree is suffering from a disease called peach leaf curl. It's something that has plagued us for a very long time, and it's something that a lot of you that grow stone fruits, that you'll encounter this. It's pretty much guaranteed that at some point in your life, you'll encounter peach leaf curl, and there's really nothing you can do to cure it that's a really effective way. But the fastest way that you can actually help cure it is by actually just helping the plant grow. Because the plant is naturally going to shed off all of the diseased leaves, and then what it's going to do is it's going to push a lot of new leaves. But to do that, it takes a lot of energy. And in order to do that, you need a lot of nutrients in order to do that. And the traditional way of fertilizing is we'll take fertilizer and spread it along the ground. And what happens is the leaves then have to send a signal to the roots. The roots have to go find it, pull it up, draw it up through the stem into all the leaves in order for it to take hold. Whereas with a liquid fertilizer, what we're essentially doing is we're skipping all that step and we're spraying down the leaves. And when you spray the leaves, not all the nutrients are going to get absorbed. So you will have some, stuff that just drips on the ground and that'll get taken up later. But you will have a certain percentage of it that is actually absorbed into the leaf structure itself and helps give an immediate boost that is going to give you much faster results, up to 3 times as fast. So I love it for that. It also is going to help you with nutrient deficiencies, because nutrient deficiencies, they are obviously a nutrient that the plant is void of, it needs more of than what's currently available. And so again, you could fertilize the roots, and the roots would take it up, send it up to the leaves, and you'd see a result. But you would not see a result as fast as if you just sprayed the leaves with what it's needing. So we're going to be feeding this peach tree because in the spring we had some very wet weather, and during super wet weather, that's something that happens a lot, is that nutrients just get depleted from the soil. And that leads me to today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by EasyFlow. They reached out to me a few months ago and asked me if I would be willing to feature their product, which is a hose bib attachment fertilizer injector. Now, I've used a lot of fertilizer injectors before that attach to your hose bib, and none of them have worked, none of them have been worth my money, and they all ended up in the trash. Truthfully, this is amazing. And so once they sent it to me, I said, I need to use it, I need to try it out, I need to make sure I like it before I take your sponsorship, because we never talk about products that A, I don't love, A, I wouldn't use, and B, I wouldn't want you using. So once I fit all those criteria, I said, you guys can definitely be the sponsor. This is an amazing product, and I absolutely love it. And so I'm gonna be showing you how to use this, because this is what I've been using to foliar feed my entire garden. This works with any liquid-based fertilizer, so a fish emulsion or some of their other products, which I'm using one in here today called Fertimax. It's a 10-0-10 because it's got a wonderful amount of nitrogen and potassium, which is going to solve all my problems that I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm using that Fertimax in here as well, but you can use it with a fish emulsion. You can use it with something like a Miracle-Gro if you're an inorganic gardener. But basically, you just want to make sure that it is a sediment-free, non-clogging, liquid-based fertilizer. So like I said, those are wonderful options. You can also use this with something like a compost tea. If you sift out if you strain out the compost tea through cheesecloth or through like a nylon filter, make sure you get all that particulate out so it's not going to clog the filter up. You can use that as well. There's a lot of different options you can use for foliar feeding, and I absolutely love it because this completely takes the guesswork out of applicating. Are you getting enough fertilizer? Are you, is fertilizer even entering the water stream? This simply is so easy to use. And so I really want to thank EasyFlow for sponsoring this episode. Again, I'll post links in the description box below, as I always do, to where you can pick this up. But I have been using this now for 2 months and I simply love it. This thing is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to show you how to hook it up first. And then we're going to basically, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to apply the fertilizer to these plants here. So let's go. All right, so I'm going to get this set up here, and I just wanted to show you just how easy this was to get installed. Coming out of the box, it's pretty much ready to use, with the exception of just cutting some tubing to the length that you need. That's basically the only step you have to do. Cut your tubing to the length you need, push it into the black tubing goes in the inlet, and the clear tubing comes out the out port here. And that basically will bring in fresh water. It'll mix in this chamber with your water-soluble fertilizer, and then the pressure will push out the mix out of the out port, and that will get then mixed in with the flow of the water coming out your hose. It basically gives you a steady stream of fertilizer whenever you're using your hose. So I absolutely love this. Now, the only other thing you have to do is just connect the hose bib here, and that connects based on the direction of the water. There's a clear indication of where the flow is going. So the flow is going this way, and so you need the in to go here and the out to go here. That way fresh water keeps, the fresh water flows in and the fertilizer water flows out. Then all we do is just bring it over here and hook it up to the hose. Cannot get simpler than this. This is so unbelievably easy. Now you can use this with sprinklers. I love this because you could actually use this if you're fertilizing your lawn. Hook up your sprinkler and you can actually fertilize with your sprinkler. If you are using this on your garden, just simply take it out and fertilize your garden. You don't have to be foliar applicating in order to fertilize. You could just be watering your plants and fertilizing at the same time. So there's a lot of different applications for this, and I absolutely love it. So again, EasyFlow, thank you so much for your sponsorship. I dig this product. It's amazing. All right, so now that we got this set up, literally turn the water on. There we go. So now it's as simple as taking your hose and soaking down the foliage. Now, when you water, you want to adequately soak the foliage. The more you soak it, the more nutrients can be absorbed. You can also, after you soak the foliage, you can come down and you can water the soil as well. There's nothing wrong with giving the plant basically a broad fertilizing, both soil and foliage, because if you're using an organic-based fertilizer, you can't use too much. And so there's no ill effects with doing both a foliage feeding and a root drench. Nothing wrong with that at all. Coming over here, getting this tree, as you can see, there's some yellow leaves falling off as I hit it with the water, and that's because the foliage is just, it's hanging on for dear life. I mean, this tree is so stressed. When you're foliar feeding with a fertilizer, you do not want to foliar feed when it's going to be wet, so make sure it's dry out. Make sure there's no rain in the forecast, because if it rains, it's just going to wash off the fertilizer. And then also make sure that it's not in the heat of the day. After the heat of the day is the best time to do it, or the morning. And that's because if you spray a fertilizer on the leaves, even if it's organic, you could do more harm than good. The leaves during the heat of the day they're stressed from the heat. They don't have any interest in taking up nutrients. And so you're actually spraying something on the leaves, even if it's just water. You can cause sunburn, you can actually cause the leaves to be burned, and then that's going to cause way more harm than good. So just wait until after the heat of the day or the early morning to do your feeding. So get the roots, and it's that simple. It takes that long to fertilize a tree. So now we're gonna go over and fertilize up the strawberries. Let's go. All right, and finally we're gonna fertilize up the strawberries. Now it is just as simple as fertilizing your fruit trees. All we have to do is just turn the hose on. It's that simple. So if I have not shown you just how simple this is, hopefully this is an example of just how easy foliar feeding or root drench fertilizing can be. Now, I absolutely love this because, like I said, I've used so many other tools that kind of do similar things that just don't cut the bill. I've used a pump sprayer. Now, a pump sprayer is, it's just not practical for me in my garden. I mean, could you imagine carrying around 2 gallons of pre-mixed fertilizer, lugging that around during an 85-degree day, fertilizing an entire bed of strawberries with a tiny little mister wand? Not a chance. There's no way I would do that. It's just not practical. Then I've used other tools that hook up to the hose and they just don't work. They just do not work. There's no way I can tell if they're siphoning properly, what their mix ratios are. There's no variability. It's just on or off, and it's garbage. So this tool from EasyFlow is the best. It's an A-grade product, and I certainly would recommend using it and checking it out. And again, I appreciate them sponsoring this video because of their sponsorship, it helps create more content that you all can benefit from. So make sure to thank them in the comments box below for sponsoring this video. I'll have links in the description box below to where you can get this product and check out more and get some more information. But as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. Fertilize your plants. They'll really thank you for it. And we'll catch you all on the next episode. Grow big or go home. Bye.